Good morning. It is 6:38 a.m. on Monday, September 25th, 2017. How time doth fly. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. So, last night was the premiere of the new Star Trek show, Star Trek Discovery. And I liked it. Before I get into the show itself, though, let me just briefly talk about its interesting CBS is taking a gamble with their new CBS All Access streaming platform by having only the very first episode of Star Trek Discovery be broadcast on this channel regularly. And as a note, it was preempted by football, and so probably a lot of people's DVRs, including mine, didn't record the whole thing. So that's kind of BS. But anyway, that's just poor planning, I think, on their part, that to have a big show. I don't know why cable doesn't have that figured out yet. But anyway, that's a separate question. But after the first episode, new episodes are only available with their streaming platform, where if you have to sign up, and it's $6 a month with limited ads or $10 a month with no ads. And yeah, so I don't know about that. That's like, for my part, honestly, if the show is good, I don't feel like $6 a month is more than I'm willing to pay for a good Star Trek show. Even if that's the only thing I get from CBS All Access, which it might be. I don't know. I have to play around with it more to see how much other use I find from it. But my guess is, like, right now, this new Star Trek show and Survivor are the only two CBS shows I watch at all. But then again, they also do have a back library of all the other Star Treks, for example, The Twilight Zone, a few other things. So, I don't know. So, at least for me, I have the privilege of being able to afford $6 a month. And so in that context, I don't mind the money so much. But what I worry about is that by going out of their way to divide the audience like that, I worry about the possibility that that will make the show, like, if people don't follow the show to that streaming service and it doesn't do well, that's bad for the show. Like, so that's where my concern is. I was a little irritated last night having to sign up, but, uh, you know, relatively a minor irritation. Also, I will say that I had a little bit of signal degradation last night. Just a little bit of digital artifacting, which I've not had from cable in a long time. And I haven't had from Netflix in a long time. But then again, I mean, I suppose that, this was probably going to be a dramatic test of their servers, and so it might be that that works itself out. Anyway, so not super impressed with CBS All Access as a service yet. I'm not sure I will ever get there. But even if all I ever watch on it is Star Trek, if the Star Trek show is good, I am willing to pay $6 a month for it. And we'll see. It might be one of those things where, while Star Trek is in season, I pay for it and then I cancel it. But maybe. We'll see. Presumably, if it takes off, they'll put more good stuff on there. But all that comes down to, was the show good? After all, I did not watch all of Voyager or Enterprise. I gave each of them about half of a season, and they didn't grab me in the way some of the Star Treks of old did. So, I don't know. I'm not, just there for Star Trek no matter what. Although, now, having watched the first two episodes, because they made the second episode available online last night also, Having watched the first two, I'm going to keep watching it at least for now. I'm really interested with the direction that they have taken, which is a little bit unexpected. Our main character, our POV character, is Commander Michael Burnham, which, despite the name, is a woman. And I have forgotten the actress's name. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I could look it up, but I'm not going to right now. Um, she is the first officer for a captain played by Michelle Yeoh, and but she is an interesting main character for a Star Trek show in a way that I don't think has really ever been done before. First of all, I think in past shows you'd usually maybe call the captain the main character, but there also tend to be more ensembles in general and less focused on one character. And it may be just that these first two episodes are focused on her, and in other future episodes it'll expand the ensemble more. But she is kind of damaged. In a way that I find kind of interesting, and it's a little bit exciting actually to have the lead of a Star Trek show be someone just a little bit unhinged in a way that could be really cool but is also kind of dangerous. Her background is that apparently as a child, her parents were in a part of a science station that was attacked by the Klingons, so they were killed, and then she ended up adopted by Sarek, Spock's father of all people, and grew up amongst the Vulcans and being educated by them, and has always struggled with, it's just the classic Spock thing of struggling between the logic and emotion, although she certainly comes down much more on the emotional side, despite her intentions. Largely, I mean, she is full human instead of half Vulcan. But yeah, so she struggles with her education, teaching her to prioritize logic over emotion, but having that emotion really still be there and kind of just bubbling just beneath the surface, and it causes her to make reckless chances and take risks and so on, that is kind of interesting and comes to a head in the first two episodes in a way that I won't fully reveal here. But she takes a drastic action that pretty much is going to change. It's like it changes the direction of the show. And how it all works out in the course of this episode and these two episodes and where it goes from there. Like, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's interesting, and it's not like any other Star Trek show we've seen before. And, with Brian Fuller's involvement, he has done a lot of shows that I really like. American Gods, Hannibal, Pushing Daisies, Wonder Falls, Dead Like Me. I like all of those things. And so his involvement probably helps that. There's some interesting supporting cast, but it's all very much in flux right now as we begin. They've got a different look for the Klingons and kind of a new sort of series take on the Klingons. It also, I guess, the time period it takes place 10 years before the original series. And the timeline in terms of is it like the movies or like the TV shows seems a little bit unclear. So there's a lot going on. But visually, it's very impressive. It looks like an expensive show, and who knows if this is partly just the two-part premiere, and it'll sort of settle down effects-wise for run-of-the-mill episodes. But at least the first two, boy, effects heavy. Lots of spacewalks and ship combat and all sorts of stuff, and it looks great. So I like the cast. I think the characters have a lot of potential, especially just given sort of a main character of a type that we've really never seen before in a Star Trek show. Or rather, never seen as a POV character. I mean, we've seen slightly unhinged officers in the show, but usually it's someone that the main cast has to contend with, as opposed to who we're actually following in the story. And yeah, it's good. I like it, and I'm going to watch it some more. We'll see, but I will say that at the very least, the Star Trek shows that I did not watch all the way through, Voyager and Enterprise, I like these first two episodes more than I liked the premieres of those. So, all that said, I've got to get ready for work, so I will talk to you tomorrow for 5 more minutes.